Hi everybody, this is Kefren, your favorite French Canadian. Today I'm going to do a quick guide on MuMu Player. For me, I think this is the best Android emulator this year in 2026. I was about to do another guide on BlueStack because normally I do a guide each 2 years. And honestly, I was tired of this emulator. Too much ads, random bloat. Sometimes you have some random software that just install on your emulator. So I decided to test a lot of different Android player. I did the LD player, the one from Google, BlueStack, and MuMu Player. And I think this one is the best for just the all-around experience. So compatibility with software, performance, and also the amount of resource that it needs for your PC to run it. So let's start the emulator like this. Just press play. First of all, really important, go to your BIOS and make sure that you activate your virtualization. If you have an AMD or Intel processor, it will be in different places depending on your motherboard. So just Google your motherboard and ask for virtualization. It will show you where you have to go. It's really important to have good performance with any Android emulator on the market. So let's start with these settings. I did a lot of testing with the Division because it's a brand new game and I kind of like it. So click on the dots over there. We're going to go to device setting. So the first tab will be your performance. You have two different API that you can use for graphic renderer. I really recommend to use Vulkan. This is the one that you will have the best performance. The only one that you should use if you have any issue with the game, you random crash and stuff like that, you can definitely test DirectX 11. But for the majority of the game, you will have better experience with Vulkan. For your FPS, smoothness, latency, the image quality also. So really important to use that one. For performance settings, I did some custom setup because I have a lot of different core on my CPU. I have a lot of RAM also. I didn't see any difference, honestly, for the performance. So just go with I if you can. So in my case, I'm using 6 cores on my CPU and 12 gig of RAM. Really important to understand right now, you're running an Android emulator, but you still have Windows that is running. So for example, if you have 6 core CPU and also you have 12 gig of RAM, don't go with I. For sure, you're gonna have issue when you will run a game. Go with something a little bit lesser than that. So really important, depending on your CPU, your amount also of RAM, just select whatever you need over there. But if you have the capacity, definitely go with I. GPU memory usage, this one just use auto tuning. And the other one that's really important is your discrete graphic card. A lot of people is running an integrate video card and also a discrete graphic card. What is really cool about this simulator, you can just force the discrete one. So you're going to make sure that you're going to use the proper GPU when you will run a game. After that, we will go to the display section. For resolution settings, I really recommend to go with your native resolution on your monitor. In my case, it's 1440p, so that's why I'm selecting this one. And if you have a 1080p monitor, just use 1080p. And if you have a 4K monitor, you will have another resolution over there that you can choose. Because normally you will use the full screen option when you will run a game. So you don't want to stretch your image and you use lower resolution. The game will look really bad. So that's why I really recommend to go with native. FPS setting, just go with your max. So in my case, it's 240 because I have a 240 Hz monitor. Honestly, in most games, I will not run this, but still, it doesn't affect any like compatibility or other issue when you will run a game. Also recommend to use your FPS counter if you want to see the amount of FPS. This is the number that you're seeing over there. And you can also use vertical sync. I'm not a huge fan, honestly. It adds a lot of input lag, so it really depends if you really need it. If you have bad tearing, those horizontal line when you're playing a game. But if not, don't use that. After that, this is pretty much it. The screen brightness, blah, blah, blah. You don't need really anything else. Let's go to the disk section. This one I recommend to clean your disk, clean up like each maybe 2 weeks or even a month. If you install a lot of different games, it will help with your Android device performance. So really important to do that. Now let's go to the model over there. So you have a lot of different presets that you can use. Honestly, for good performance and also good compatibility, I recommend to go with Asus with the ROG Phone 6. You can go higher if you want, but it doesn't change anything with the performance normally in any game. If you have some random high FPS mode that is locked, just restart it and run something higher. You can also test the Samsung with the Galaxy S25 Ultra if you have any issue, but normally with the Rogue Phone 6, you will be fine. The one that is really important also to change is your GPU model. Always use the highest one, and you kind of need like a good GPU also on your computer. But by default, anything that was changing over there, this one was locked at Adreno 640. And for an example, on The Division, I was stuck at 30 FPS. So I didn't understand why, but this is why. So always use the highest one to have good performance over there. And after that, this is pretty much it. If you go to other, I recommend to don't keep alive your app in the background like this. So make sure this one is unchecked, and everything else just go by default. So when you did that, after that, you're pretty much set up. So just set up your Google Store. As you can see, it will be very fast. You click on a game, you can play, download, and stuff like that. Also for the tab, when you close it, it's really amazing, the speed of this Android emulator. You also have the MuMu Store. All those games, you gotta make sure that they all run well. They don't have any issue, honestly, with this emulator. So if you want to make sure that everything will work well, just use their player. If not, just use your Google one. For an example, for Pokemon TCGP, you need to make sure that your emulator run the game in vertical. So when you launch the game, it will be vertical. But if you go full screen, for me, the game crash. So sometimes it can be tricky. You need to tweak settings if you have issue with the game. They also have a blog on their website to help you to have a good configuration if they have whatever issue with a game, a popular game that it's not on the MuMu store. You also have a app cloner. So if you want to create more instance of an app or a game, you can do that over there. So that's pretty cool. And this is pretty much it. Really snappy, really fast. You're getting good performance and good compatibility also with the games. No bloat, no ads. I'm a big fan of MuMu Player, honestly. This is pretty much the best Android emulator that you can use in 2026. So this is pretty much it, guys, for my guide. If you have any question, just comment in the YouTube section. Really important to ask me your question with your CPU, GPU, and the amount of RAM that you have on your computer. I will try to help you the best that I can. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Peace, everyone.